coming to you live here from Teone, a settlement on the Chatham Islands, located on the Peter Bay on the west coast of the main island of New Zealand. We are here, of course, with number 24 edition of Sparkling Tuna Cup, number 24. I am, of course, your host, Yaku of Zaku, and with me today is El Guardabosques del Pacífico que se sumerge con su medio caparazón directamente hacia el peligro, like _VIP. How we doing, Light?
See, Papi, see, welcome everyone. Welcome to another Sparkling Tuna Cup. Another week, another tuna. Number 24. Welcome everyone, welcome. And we have a bit of a special treat because we have a bunch of players that are here for the first time in a long time. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We're here, and Yaku, it's great to be here.
It's great to be here. I'm pretty happy for our first matchup as we dive straight into this PvZ. We're in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire. We have our yellow Protoss player coming out from the land of Ukraine, representing hot-headed gaming. We have NightPhoenix, formerly known as StarCraft.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire ESL, we have the Australian Zerg player himself, hailing from the clan SC Swarm. It is Chappy. Time to get clappy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how long has it been since we've gone clappy?
I know, right? Fun fact, Asher was messaging me before this, and he's like, mate, if you want to have some fun, put him up against 3-point. Because I can't, did we cast it? It was either me and you, or maybe with Chase, or maybe with Asher. I think it was either with you or with Chase, where we casted Chappy versus 3-point. And it was like an hour-long best of 3, and Chappy's soul was destroyed in it because it was a game that he rushed and he won in the first 5 minutes, and then the game lasted 40 minutes.
I have no recollection of this. I'm choosing to believe that I did cast it, but I just purged it from my memory.
It was brutal, mate. It was brutal. It was one of those games where 3-point turtled up on 3 bases with like Viper, Swarm Host, Lurker. And Chappy just kept sending wave after wave of Ling Bane and Mutas like into the main, the third, the natural, like trying to go for all this multi-prong harass for like 20 minutes, and it just wouldn't kill him. It was sad.
I was gonna say, I don't know if this is one of those moments where I wish we didn't have seeding for this tournament, but now that I think about it, it's probably a good thing that we avoided that.
Yeah, after now,
no.
True. But after that series, Chappy never signed up again, and Chappy had a bit of an identity crisis. I don't know if you heard, but he was doing quite a bit of off racing.
I have, yeah. I heard that he's been playing a lot with Terran recently. Actually inspired NXZ, I think, to off race as well.
Yeah, NXZ in Discord even changed his name to NXT. Yep. But yeah, for those who don't know, Chappy, he is a well-loved member of the Australian scene, and he was he made a bet with a couple of people, and they said that he couldn't get his Terran to 5K in a month, and he did it in like 28 days. It was like the day before the month was over. He barely.
And he did it on a February. No, that didn't actually happen.
It was close. It was close.
Yeah, I guess it really just goes to show you how much I'm not sure how to particularly word this, but how much he really does have an understanding of the game and of the separate races. Now, though, he's back to his main race, and let's hope that he's, been able to get out of that Terran funk for a while and has been able to adapt a little bit more to ZvP in this time.
Yeah, like he was taking his that challenge really seriously, and he was just non-stop playing Terran every day, 6 to 8 hours a day, sometimes even more, just in the middle of the night. So yeah, he has to kind of detox from that a little bit. He needs a recovery period from that, and so far he's doing
not even once.
True. But so far he's not doing too badly here. He's being a little bit greedy, and this is the Chappy that we know and love. He did skip his spore here at his natural base, and he's gonna pay the price for it.
Yeah, but a price that can be remade by just getting a whole ton more, holding down that D key for a little bit longer. So the advantages for going for the earlier third base.
Yeah, exactly, and hopefully, oh my god, okay, thankfully he does have a spore now here at the natural. Second Oracle is going to be only dipping in, getting one additional drone kill, and to kind of bring everyone back to the game itself, NightPhoenix is opening up triple Oracle into Blink Stalkers, your standard hero style, and Chappy is responding with +1 melee lings.
Yeah, I like that he hasn't neglected his Baneling Nest behind us as well. Gives him a little bit more utility, but yeah, from how things are shaping up, it's looking to be a pretty standard gateway versus lane game.
Yeah, it's what has become standard now in current meta. Obviously, Chappy has lost more drones than he would have liked, unfortunately, just because of those oracles, and we'll see if that's going to become even greater here as the Adepts are going to be able to shade in here towards the third base. Nice reaction though by Chappy. He actually doesn't lose a single drone. Up.
Yeah, a little bit of lost firing time, but that's not really the biggest of deals right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's reducing.
Yeah, priority number one is just to make sure that he never needs to spend another larva on drones.
Oh, exactly. And he's going to have to replace these losses as 4 drones go down, but this could have been a lot worse. Every single Adept is going to get cleaned up. But triple Oracle dive into the natural.
That was so well timed as well. Making sure that every single queen was out of the way just when Chappy thought that he could heave a sigh of relief dealing with those Adepts. All of a sudden, triple Oracles.
Yeah, exactly. NightPhoenix has just done such a great job at just keeping the economy of the Zerg player low. He's kept all 3 of his Oracles alive, and we've talked about it before. It's so crucial that when you play this style, you keep them alive because they provide so much utility. We even have a 4th Oracle on the way. Again, NightPhoenix, he's fully aware of the value of these units.
Yeah, they are kind of his backbone, but what's a backbone without a little bit of meat, is what they say. And so we do see the Gateway Explosion coming out from NightPhoenix. Important to note, throughout this entire time, NightPhoenix's economy as well has been completely untouched. It's a stable 65 workers.
Oh yeah, his probe count is insane. He's setting up his proxy pylon. His aggression is starting now. Chappy does have a couple of options to maybe go for a little bit of harassment, but right now he's focusing on nothing but link production. His drone count isn't ideal. He is working on a 4th base, but he doesn't have a lot of creep here, and that's a little bit scary. This push from NightPhoenix, it's looking pretty terrifying.
Yeah, links are definitely ideal to deal with stalkers, but when they have blink and they are off creep, they do have a little bit more maneuverability on them. NightPhoenix, though, his attention elsewhere for a second.
Yeah, exactly. He did lose a handful of stalkers. Meanwhile, nice bait here. Only a single stasis trap behind this army. NightPhoenix, he wants to try and force a cancel on this 4th base. Can he get it?
Not quite yet, but if I were Chappy, I would not want to move into that massive wave of blink stalkers.
Yeah, exactly. Another stage strap's gonna go off, and it does end up catching half of those lings, and with that, that's also more surface area that NightPhoenix can use to maneuver against them. And it looks like this 4th base, it's gonna go down.
Yeah, Chappy was doing a good job of keeping it alive until he wasn't. And now he even has vision to the main with these oracles. Blink straight away. Oh man, this must be what it feels like when a Terran player dives back and forth with medevacs. I get it now. I see what I've done.
Oh god, what have you done? Ooh, a bit of an awkward blink though. He doesn't get off the ledge, so it looks like all of these stalkers are going to be going down. The first big mistake here of NightPhoenix. He does save half of them, but that was a pretty costly blink.
Yeah, and behind all of this, Chappy's able to keep his Hydra Den alive. That's super important right now because he does see transition out of pure lings. And he's even taking the gold base down south.
Yeah, the gold base is on the way, but you know what? Slow lots are coming in. They're getting on top of a lot of these queens. NightPhoenix, he's going for the kill move right here. Does Chappy have enough? He does get another wave of lings, but in come those charge lots.
You know, seeing a lot of transfuses being thrown down in an attempt to keep these queens alive, but it's just not enough. GG. NightPhoenix takes game number 1. And it didn't really look like he was out of control for most of that.
Yeah, exactly. It was more Chappy that was on the back foot. You know, his drones just kept falling left and right to the oracles, to the adepts, mainly the oracles, to be fair. And that really slowed him down, and specifically it slowed down the timing of his fourth base, which means there's less creep, which means it's just harder to defend.
Yeah, this is definitely kind of a snowball type of build that you're going for. Even though you're the defensive player in a ZvP, you need to make sure, especially if you're, you know, playing that Chappy style of trying to cut every single corner, you can't afford to take even the slightest loss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. It's so momentum based, as you were saying. And we'll see if things can turn around here for Chappy in the end. I mean, again, like, outside of like losing those handful of drones early on, like, he was looking pretty solid. Like the timing of his Hydra Den, like his transition into making nothing but links and defending against the first push, like, it wasn't looking too bad there. Just a little bit hindered in the beginning, which just came into play later.
Yeah. Plus those oracles, man. That was some impeccable oracle control coming out from NightPhoenix. I think he only lost like 1 or 2, and that was towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
The final engagements.
Exactly. Like, we were talking about it earlier, about how because he was able to keep those oracles alive from the early game, that means, okay, we have all these stasis traps. That means it's much more awkward to engage with all of your lings. And even if you do get us around, then you can activate your pulsar beam as well. That all did come into play towards the end there, having those four oracles alive supporting your stalkers.
For those few times that blink is not enough.
Yeah. Exactly. But now we are going to be loading into game number 2. The map has been chosen, and it is going to be Data Under the Sea.
Let's go. We are, of course, going to continue our best of 3 series here on Data Under the Sea, where we just can't wait to become king. And speaking of kings, here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our yellow Protoss player coming out from the land of Ukraine. He, of course, is going to be representing hot-headed Phoenix. You may know him as Sly Crab. I personally know him as Hot Phoenix. But to everyone else, he is NightPhoenix.
It means no worries on the ends of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. Kuna Matata. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Australian Zerg player himself, currently down in the series, but not out. He is the blue Zerg representing SC Swarm. It is Chappy. Shaking my head.
What a wonderful phrase.
Oh god, I like that. I like that, Yaku. I like that. In my mind, every time every week when we show up here for Data C, you're gonna come in with a new Disney song.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scrambling because I forgot that there was a bit for this map, and I was like, what was that Disney song? And
you said I
Lion
can't
King was
wait
the first
to be
thing
king.
to come to mind, yeah.
God damn it. It's beautiful, Yaku. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh god. Meanwhile, the game is just opening up, and what I will say is that I look forward to Steel Mold's cover of Under the Sea.
Hakuna Matata? Oh!
Under the Sea, Yaku.
Right, yes. Hakuna Matata is a triad.
Yes, exactly.
We'll cover it solo.
So everyone look forward to that. I'm sure it'll be coming soon, TM. Soon, TM.
Yeah, once we hit that goal.
I
don't know if we have a goal. We could set up a Patreon goal.
We should totally have like a goal.
A tier.
Yeah.
Steel Mold will sing you a song of your choosing.
There you go. It'll happen. But speaking of happening, this is where I start to be a little bit concerned here for Chappy, because NightPhoenix didn't do anything special last game. It was pretty stock standard.
Oh,
Oh my god, he killed Sebastian!
I guess it's almost singing.
Feels bad, man.
But yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. That was a very standard, again, gateway style coming out from NightPhoenix in game number 1, and Chappy, it just looked like he wasn't prepared to be able to deal with that style effectively. I mean, he definitely was getting the tools. This wasn't really utilizing it to the best of his capability.
Yeah, and that means, you know, coming into this, NightPhoenix should be feeling pretty confident to just continue and not necessarily change anything. Triple Oracle into Blink Stalkers would be ideal. Quickly checking, we do have the first Oracle on the way, so far, so standard. Third base is being thrown down. But yeah, it's going to be on Chappy to either try and adapt or just tighten up his early defense, because again, last game, I think he lost like 16 drones all up. Like, things got a little bit out of control, out of hand.
Yeah, it was very incremental. I remember looking at him losing 4 drones and thinking, this is fine. And then he lost 8, and I'm like, a little worrisome, but still recoverable. And then he lost 11, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Not very good. And it seems like Chappy has taken it a little bit to heart. He is making sure that he's getting spores, at least in his more exposed spaces. Yeah, just like last time, he would go spore at a third base, spore at the natural. The main is a bit exposed, but to make up for it, we do have 2 queens chilling in the main base. The oracles are looking to find their way in, and already they catch some transferring drones. Yeah, that's the one place where spores and queens are not going to be able to keep the drones covered. And once again, NightPhoenix, I mean, he's even tanking a lot of shots from these queens because he knows he can get away with 15 total drone kills so far. This is... I was going to say start a snowball, but I think we're in the midst of the avalanche already.
We are. It could maybe be okay if Chappy's able to get a kill on one of these oracles, but both of them managed to survive. They both managed to dip the hell out of here. And this is where I start to worry a little bit here for Chappy. I understand his greed, like in his mind, in my mind, hey, you have 2 queens in your main, it should be perfectly safe, it should be fine. But we saw that NightPhoenix, he was okay with taking some hull damage because he kept his oracles alive in the end, and it was worth it. He killed 10 plus drones.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he can get away with, so he's not afraid of a little bit of danger. This time, though, NightPhoenix is switching things up a little bit by going for a Glay follow-up.
Yeah, speaking of danger, this is pretty dangerous. We have 8 gates behind this. We already have a wave of of these adepts on the way. And if Chappy blindly assumes that it's going to be Blink Stalkers, he will just straight up die. Thankfully, this time, he threw down the safety Roach Warren, and he does have roaches on the way.
Yeah, it feels like Chappy is... well, he's still playing a little bit greedy, but he is switching things up a lot from game number 1. He's making sure that he's going to be able to cover his defenses for just about anything coming his way.
Yeah, the question is, can he pull it off? Because there we go, we have a shade towards the third base. 4 drones already going down, a lot of lost mine time, but the roaches are now out, and now Chappy can fight against this. The problem is, though, that again, he doesn't have creep connecting the bases, so it's going to be really awkward to dance between them, and that third hatchery is getting surprisingly low.
Yeah, it's under less than half health. The roaches are starting to get a little bit isolated as they try to catch up and regroup with one another. The third base goes down, and NightPhoenix is content with that.
Exactly. You know what? He may have only killed 4 drones, but he got the third base, just knocking Chappy down to 3 base economy. He even has the Roach Horn itself a little bit exposed. He's trading against the roaches of Chappy, and behind this, transitioning into those Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, this is a tough position for just about any player, and I do appreciate that Chappy, you know, he is going for the counterattack now, while he still, you know, has a bit of a shot, but I'm a little bit pessimistic, to say the least.
Yeah, this is kind of like he's forced to counterattack. I'm sure he doesn't want to, but he has to, because he can't just stay at home after taking all that damage. But look at what's waiting for him. We have Blink Stalkers. GG gets called. Sorry, they were Blinkless. They didn't even need Blink.
Oh, who needs Blink when you have... What's the spell I'm thinking of? Force Fields. There we go. NightPhoenix takes it. 2-0. Very nicely done.
Ooh, GG, very well played there by NightPhoenix. Chappy, again, he was anticipating those Glaive Adepts. You know, that's why we had roaches on the way. And again, I got to give him props where props are due. He didn't lose many drones to those Adepts, right? But
yeah. He didn't lose drones to the Adepts. He did lose a lot of them to the Oracle still.
And he lost his hatchery to the Adepts, which matters maybe more. I'm not gonna lie, as a Zerg player, that was disgusting. I never thought I'd saw the day where Glaive Adepts show up and they just kill bases. Like, what am I watching right now? That was crazy. And again, unfortunately, because of the lack of creep spread, it was a little bit difficult for Chappy to keep up and rotate between the bases and defend against everything. And I'm sure he himself wasn't really anticipating the Adepts to like cancel their shades and stick around and kill a base. Like, wow.
I mean, nobody expects Adepts to kill a base, I don't think. But that's exactly what happens if you have enough Adepts and they get enough time with that hatchery. And yeah, man, Terran, not even once. That's my takeaway.
Oh god. Well, you know what? Speaking of Terran, we are already quickly moving on to our next series. Yo, those vetoes were insanely quick because we are diving in and following NightPhoenix into the next round.